What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles, welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. I've got a lot to talk about, and I needed to break it up into several episodes. I got my his tank today. I am so excited to open that bad boy up, and also the UPS guy just delivered my Clone Wars Padawan Ahsoka Tano, so I'm very excited about her, and adding her to my Clone Wars display is gonna be so cool. I'm going to talk about Star Wars right now because this brand just continues to frustrate me. As excited as I am to get this Clone Wars Padawan Ahsoka, we get some new reveals today, and I'm just like, do these guys get it? Do they understand they got one of the biggest licenses out there, and they continue to drop ball? It's like, here we go, we've got it, we've got all this money. They're doing the Simba, and they just drop it repeatedly, over and over. And I'm just kind of thinking, why can't you guys just understand? You have the easiest license to print money license out there. I mean, it's right here, Star Wars. You could do army builders to your heart's content. You could just slightly tweak outfits. I mean, there's so many outfits from these characters in the movies. You can just keep doing better articulated versions and you're good to go. They keep making these TV shows. They've got Clone Wars, they've got Rebels. So you can mine them thoroughly for all the characters in them. You're good, but somehow they keep botching it, and it's just this half-tail way of executing what should be the easiest license to do. So we got three new reveals today. I'm going to go from pretty good to, oh man, this would have been great except for one thing, and then the I can't understand what you guys are doing. Let's break them all down. Let's take a look real fast here, if you will, at these reveals that we got today from the Star Wars team. And just, I mean, there's some really good stuff, and I'm really happy with some of these things, but I just really wish they would figure it out that, hey, we could do this even better. So let's take a look. And this was all about the prequels, which of course I love, and always happy to see more figures coming from them. So first up, we get a retro style version from old heads like me who remember collecting Star Wars back when it started in action figure form. It's kind of cool getting this look of how these figures from Phantom Menace would have turned out if they were part of the original Kenner line. That's really fun. I love this reimagining. In this six pack, we get Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, Queen Amidala, Darth Maul, Jar Jar Binks, and the Battle Droid. Battle Droid's kind of an odd inclusion for me because I kind of feel like, well, why are we getting him when he's an army builder? And you should have an army builder where the army builder is just all over the map, not just in one set, especially when he's just one of five other figures. Really odd choice for me. Definitely not the last time I have some questions with what the Star Wars team does with an army builder. So let's take a look at these characters individually. Here's Queen Amidala. I think this is excellent work considering the scale. Look at her whole head sculpt. It's amazing. They put a great amount of detail in this for the scale. I mean, it was all about simplicity, being basic with the sculpt, not necessarily trying to get that actor's likeness, but just here, this is good enough. And this is better than good enough. I think they did an outstanding job on the makeup. Her hair looks great. The crown, tiara piece, really nicely done. Great paint apps. It really captures that gold look of her, and the robe also just immaculate. Great ornate details here. She can sit down if you need her to, and really nice work. I mean, if you have a whole setup where you have a throne for her, she can actually do that. And then the bottom of the robe also has a lot of great detail, paint work, paint applications, really solid work. So good work there with Queen Amidala. Next up is Jar Jar, another figure I think they did outstanding with. You love to see them paint the white there in the eyes, so it's not so authentic to how it was back in the day. I feel like these figures cost a little bit more, so they could do that extra little bit of paint work to get that kind of stuff, that detail done. Nevertheless, this is really good work. I mean, his ears really look great. I think it's a great expression for Jar Jar. It really captures his kind of somewhat dopey appearance, but I think they did a really nice job executing that. The arms reflect his skin pattern really well, I think, as well. And then we got the blaster, and his legs also capture his lankiness. They did right by his feet. Really nice work on Jar Jar, everyone's favorite Star Wars character. And then we get the Battle Droid again. I'm just confused as to why, hey, let's do the Army Builder in this set. You're going to do a six-pack of the most important pivotal characters in the line. I'm going to go with Anakin. I mean, there's no reason to go with the Army Builder. You're not going to make much use of him, but Anakin is the clearly most obvious glaring omission in this set. We can pair him up and thank Padme or Amidala for being so kind and nice to him and hanging out with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon when Darth Maul starts attacking. So really interesting choice. I think they did a nice job. He actually looks pretty stable and solid. He won't wilt over and topple over like so many of my vintage collection battle droids. But yeah, I mean, it's good work for a retro army builder that you're not even going to be able to have a pair of. So then we get Obi-Wan. I think they did a nice job with him. I mean, like even got a little cleft on his chin, like Ewan McGregor. Nice little bit of accuracy, getting that likeness down, especially in the scale. I mean, it's all about keeping it simple, keeping it basic. I think the hairstyle looks good. Got his Padawan braid going. I just wish they would do better with the lightsaber. I mean, yeah, I know that's authentic to how it was back in the day, but I think we can slap a little bit of paint there, a little silver, just to distinguish that lightsaber a bit. The boots, they look good. I mean, this whole Jedi tunic deal looks great. He's all set to go in that column energy tower and take on Darth Maul. And then next up, Qui-Gon, and they also did right by him. They threw in a robe. That's really awesome. And I'm kind of interested, I guess this is the interior portion here, this section here. This is how the outside looks. I think the likeness of Liam Neeson is pretty strong here. It's pretty good. Nice paint work there with the beard, the facial hair. Nice work. Again, I like to see a little bit of silver paint there, just so it doesn't look like he's holding a sword, which it really looks like here with no detail on the lightsaber itself. We don't have that telescoping arm with the lightsaber rolling out of it. So you'd like to see just a little bit more detail, but really good work on Qui-Gon. And then we wrap it up with the man, the myth himself, Darth Maul. And it's sleepy time variant Darth Maul. He looks like he's ready. He's all tuckered out. He's ready for a nap. And outside of that, I would love to see just a fierce Darth Maul expression from this guy as opposed to, well, I'm tired. I'm going to take a nap. Nice paint work, though. I mean, really good work there with him. Got his tattoo face work down, just pat. I like to show him a little teeth there that give off that ferocity that I'm talking about. Again, the lightsaber, the dual-bladed saber really takes a hit because so much of it, when it's together and connected like this, has so much silver, much more than a typical lightsaber, but it's just kind of looks weird in this format. And thanks to this articulation, it looks like he will be able to do some kicks as needed. Not necessarily the side kicks, but he can throw his legs out there, do a little bit of fun. We're not expecting a whole lot of articulation out of this scale anyway, but solid enough work for this. And these figures, I don't think the price point is too terrible. It's $60 for the 6-pack. So that's $10 a piece. Not awful, not terrible, certainly not the best value. If this set were somehow able to make it to an Ollie's or Ross at this point, it would come in, they would average about maybe $3 a figure in this set, maybe $20 for the whole deal, depending on when it comes out. But I don't think that's a terrible value for it. So not the worst deal they've done. But I think if you're a retro collector, it's a pretty nice figures. Now let's go on to the vintage collection reveal. This was from Attack of the Clones. We're going to keep moving along here. Got Jango Fett. I think they did an outstanding job with this Jango sculpt. It was really good and so much detail. Look at all that work in the helmet. Rangefinder up. The painting is really crisp, pretty well throughout. Got the blaster, the great detail on that. Black Series quality really looks strong. The tubing connecting to the gauntlet also looks great. They've captured the armor right. All the pouches, I have buttons, but no problem. I do wish that the holster and the blaster worked a little bit better. Maybe they just clipped a little hole in there and let the bottom or the barrel slide in there a little bit more because it's hanging out a little bit too much for my liking. But everything else really looks nice. I think they did an awesome job with the sculpt. Here, speaking of sculpts, let's take a look at the helmet-free version, and that's a pretty good likeness of the Attack of the Clones era Jango Fett. Nice scarring along the face too. That's pretty cool to see. And again, great work on this helmet. That looks sharp, and I love how the Beskar armor pops with this silver, so it really looks crisp. It shows out pretty nicely, and love the expression. Nice and neutral, not too much, not too heated, not too excited. Speaking of heated, let's take a look at flamethrower attachment. I love the coloring on this. Got a little white, yellow, orange, yellow, and orange. great gradient of those colors in here. Let's take a look at the attachment. It plugs right in here to this projectile piece on the gauntlet, and that was great. You see the tubing as well for that, so we can just zoom on out of there. See what I'm talking about a little bit better with the blaster. It seems like there's enough room for it to catch in a little bit more, just to tuck in some more. I know that's going to bother his articulation unless this padding element of the holster swings out a little bit further, but I love the work of that accessory piece. Great way to throw it in there. Here's another great look at him. Just a reminder, by the way, this figure does not fly, but you've got some really nice gradient translucent work here with this blast effect. Really nice job on that. Great posing. You can see he's got a ton of articulation. Gonna do his thing. Ready to take on this Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Mace Windu. And he's got the same single jointed elbows we see with a lot of Black Series. But I find that for the most part, with more recent Black Series figures, you don't really need that double jointed articulation piece, because the single joint from Hasbro Black Series figures at least has more than enough range to capture that same effect. So it's not a deal, definitely not a problem for me with those figures. Then my favorite one of this photo shoot was just really great. See all the detail there. Got that with the missile, the jetpack, both exhausts. He is flying despite what this warning says. He actually does fly. You just can't do it in real life. But this is really great work here. I mean, I'm loving everything with this figure. There's just one tiny little problem. The retail price of this guy, which is going up tomorrow, pre-order 1 o'clock Eastern time, Big Bad Toy Store, my affiliate Entertainment Earth, is the price point. He's $24.99. And I'm just like, I don't understand how they can charge the same amount for a vintage collection figure, even if it's a deluxe one. Like this, the same price as a Black Series figure. Now, this is no, hey guys, make the Black Series figures more expensive to justify raising the price on the deluxe vintage collection figure. Don't do that. But it's just not a contest. You can get a 6-inch figure with more articulation, better sculpting. Why are we paying that much for a vintage collection figure? And my whole thing is, I feel like the VTC collectors are really taking it because, yeah, I'm so invested in this format and this articulation, this scale, so I can buy the vehicles. I'm kind of stuck. But I don't feel like Hasbro's doing any favors charging the same price point for the Black Series figures. I mean, it's so different. And I don't think that we should see any blurring of the lines of these price points from figure 1 to figure 2. We're going to charge $24.99 for a vintage collection figure. It needs a vehicle. That, I mean, it's just as simple. And it doesn't need to be a big, massive one like Slave One. Just a speeder bike, something along those lines where it's like, okay, I understand. Or maybe throw in Jango Fett or throw in Boba Fett. That way it's like, okay, there's some value in this. I get a 2-pack for $24.99. Not just, oh man, I'm paying for this flame effect. I'm paying for the jetpack exhaust. That's not a great enough value for me. But you know, as much as I had some issues with the price point with Django, we did finally get to see a figure that I have been really anticipating, looking forward to ever since it was announced on the Pipeline reveals. That's this super battle droid with the battle droid 2-pack. This is from Attack of the Clones, the infamous Battle of Geonosis. So much fun. I love this scene. I watched Attack of the Clones numerous times, at least 30 times at this point. And I love this. I feel like it's such a build up to this massive arena battle. And I have reenacted this with my vintage collection figures. And I was really anticipating doing the same thing on Black Series figures. And just like, budget be hanged. I'm going to get a whole bunch of these guys. And I have a massive amount of battle droids and super battle droids to take out my Jedi, to leave them laying in the dirt. And then for Count Dooku to go, worthy of induction into the Jedi archives. Love it. Wanted to do this. And, you know, I mean, it's not just this scene. I mean, you know, there's certainly other moments here where I could have just one Jedi against so many battle droids. But I wanted to do this so I could also have this kind of scene where I could just have them surrounding a Jedi, going Roger, Roger, doing their thing, and being battle droids, being taken out with quickness by skilled, trained Jedi, and then the super battle droids coming in to provide a little bit of reinforcements. Not so much from the Hasbro team. We're not even going to be able to do this because, you know, we get our first shot, and I'm like, great, the super battle droid looks awesome. He's even got some dirt dinginess to his sculpt. He's ready for action. He's just started in this Geonosis environment, but already got a bunch of dirt and grime caked up in the systems. Great sculpting. He's got that duck bill going, and he just looks massive, big, ready to take out a bunch of people, clocking some battle droids out the way so he can start. I was all set for it. And then we get the next shot, and I'm kind of confused because I'm like, why would you just show this one, the red one? Not really feeling that choice of battle droids because there's more functionality, more options if you go with the lighter variants of the battle droids. But then it's like, why you got this C-3PO head? Okay, whatever. Just playing around, having a little fun. I get it. That's cool. But I kind of like, well, all right, why not show the other one, the duckbill head of this figure? And then we get the package shot, and there is no alternate swappable battle droid head. I'm like, what are you all doing? And there's no confusion here. It says C-3PO, B1 battle droid body, and super battle droid. So we're just getting, as the Star Wars team would so love to say, that iconic moment of Attack of the Clones when C-3PO gets his head replaced and put onto a battle droid body. There's nothing wrong with this. There's nothing wrong with, hey, here's an extra for you guys. You love this brand so much, we're going to throw in a C-3PO head so you can do this scene. There is when you don't include the regular battle droid head. And it's not like they don't have the mold for it. They've already done these figures before. Why in the world would you not do a swappable battle droid head so you could army build to your heart's content? This set is $50. How much money would they have made off of the regular standard army builder if they just included a swappable head? As is, you're just going to get people to go, okay, cool, I'm just going to get this one, and I guess I'm fine. I mean, I don't really feel the need to get this so I can have that moment, especially not for $50. I mean, that's worthless to me. And as great as the Super Battle Droid looks, sorry, it's my medicine alert. As great as this Super Battle Droid looks, I don't need to spend $50 for him in C-3PO. It's worthless. But then it really just gets under my skin and just drives me nuts is the G.I. Classified team gets it. They go, hey, we've got Quick Kick, and this figure looks awesome. There is literally extras on extras on extras. But they're like, you know what? We need to have Quick Kick with a head that can go, whoa, so you can do all that fun, cool action shots. And they didn't need to. I would not have been like, oh, I can't believe they didn't have the alternate Bruce Lee head sculpt. I never would have said that. But they were like, we can't do Quick Kick without having that. Why would we? And they just include it in there. Meanwhile, with something that should be an absolute no-brainer, put in a swappable head. I'm not saying do a whole new sculpt. Just put what you've already designed, you've already put on other figures into this set. Increase the value of it. Make people go, I'm going to buy 30 of these sets so I can have 30 battle droids and 30 super battle droids. There is no problem with that. And instead, this is just like, oh, no, here's the ball. We've dropped it one more time. And, you just see the news about Hasbro, and it's just like, this is where some of these mistakes and problems come into place. And to me, this is just like that scene in The Dark Knight Returns, where it's like, we're not burning your money. We're only burning half. We're just burning our half. Why would you pass up this chance to just sell this in mass? People would go, yeah, I'll buy 5. Maybe I'll buy 6, maybe 7, or 2's fine for me. You're going to get people buying multiples. And instead, you maybe get people buying one set for $50. And these are the decisions that lead to Hasbro going, we don't know what happened with our holiday sales. They're going lower. It's because you're putting figures out at Ross and Ollie's for $5, and you charge $25 for these figures, and making bad decisions with like these super battle droids. There's no reason to execute something that should have been a easy layup, no problem. Like, you're 8 foot tall, Hasbro. All you need to do is just drop the ball in the bucket. It's that simple. It's not even a layup at this point. It's just like, there you go. Just do that. And somehow we keep getting these mistakes like the C-3PO battle droid exclusive with the super battle droid. It's not getting it done. It's not making it worthwhile. By the way, this set I'm remembering properly and correctly, is a Pulse exclusive. So they're still not learning from the lessons. It should be so obvious. You know they're going to have a cap. There's going to be a limit on these because they're Pulse exclusive. So maybe it's going to be 5, but no one's going to want 5 of this set because you botched the most important thing of an army builder. You made it so only one is really essential in an army builder set. So I don't know. They're messing with me, and I just don't get it because this should have been really easy and simple. But I don't know. Anyway, I'll be back on later. I'm probably going to do unboxing of my his tank later on this week. And of course, I'll be back on Thursday to talk about the Marvel Legend reveals and what other stuff that's popping up. I may even do a video on Hasbro's layoffs because, I mean, there's some reasons why it happened. And I feel like, Hasbro needs to take a look in the mirror, especially CEO Chris Cox, figure out what the heck is going on before we have more people losing jobs right before the holidays. For now, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. This episode of Loud Figure Files has been filed.